Come on, dog. Huh. Yeah, so there I had the camera turned on, and lots of action with no. Oh, here, take two, because I did this all once, but the camera was turned off, or it wasn't recording. Anyhow, last few days I've been doing a bit more cutting. I got a good pile of wood over here, and then I learned how to sharpen the saw. You go to YouTube, and YouTube will tell you everything. So I sharpened the saw there this morning, and it worked out pretty good. Cut through wood like butter. So I know how to sharpen now, and it only takes, it's a fairly quick process to sharpen the saw. So anyhow, that's more wood, and I was explaining about what I'm going to build over behind the car there. I'm going to build like another addition to that shop, that call it a carport for a better idea. Somewhere to keep, well, number one, keep the boat, and number two, keep the Mercedes-Benz for short term, because I don't want to have the Mercedes in the tent all the time. Anyhow, that's it for this one, and I hope you enjoy it all. Here's not much of a Buster report, but Buster seems to like wood piles. So there you go. See you next time. Bye now. Yeah, so here's something fairly interesting. I've got this whole log cut into 2 by 10 approximately, but I'm going to make it into 2 by 4. So I'm going to turn it all on one side and see if I can get it to convert it to 2 by 4. In a minute I'll get it turned over and see what happens. Oh, yeah, there they go. They're all stacked on there. I'll see if I can get you a camera position that'll work for this. Maybe right over here, right? Oh, sorry. Try that. Is that pretty good? Well, we'll see. Yeah, I screwed up my math there. Anyhow, I got some oddball 2x4s. They certainly aren't 2x4s. They're something. They're 2x2s, really. 8 quarters, so it's supposed to go like 8 quarters is supposed to be a 2x4 width, isn't it? No. Oh dear, what did I get wrong? Anyhow, right now I'm left with its absolute 6 inches above. So these are nice 2x6s, 10-foot 2x6s. So I'll keep them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and there's only like 6 or 8 good 2x2s there, but I'll keep them too. So whatever they get used for, I'll use them. Okay, I'll carry on and see what else I can screw up here. Yeah, so I went down, I got a cherry tree out of the woods down there that had fallen over. And the ants have been into the bottom of it here. Don't know how far, maybe this far, give or take a bit. So I'll keep on cutting it down, and then I'll cut out the ant bits. But this looks kind of cool up here. Paul might like this for making something. We'll see. I'll cut it into 2-inch slabs. There's the first 2-inch slab right there. And I left the live edge on it just because. Yeah, there. That's that piece of cherry wood cut up. It's got some nice grain in it and stuff. Pretty wood. The this part here is wet. You can see what color it would be if it's varnished. It's got a couple of knots in it. Now there's a couple of them are short, like that one's short because there, doggy is after the very best thing he loves is gloves. Gloves and ants, I guess he likes too. There was ants in the bottom of this board, these boards. So I've cut out all these ones are shorter because they were in the center and they're close to the heartwood. And that's where the ants were all at. So I cut them all out. And so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are there here? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 2-inch slabs and 1 1-inch slab. That's pretty nice. And I left them all with live edge on them. Just we'll peel that off sometime and it'll look all right. Anyhow, Paul, you want these? You can have them if you want them. Anyhow, there you go. See you later. Yeah, HDR it says. I'm not sure what that means, but anyhow, there's my helper at the end of the tractor. And I've got this all put away for another day. Might do some more tomorrow. So those boards turned out kind of nice. And I cut off all the ant stuff, anything that had ants in it, and I cut it all off. Threw that in the woods. So there you go. And there's, you know, the inspector's on there. He approves. He hasn't peed on them anyhow. I figure if he pees on them, then he doesn't like them. So there you go. Bye for now. Yeah. So here I am, another morning, right? And I've got the. That'll clean some of the shit off of that, eh? Anyhow, I've got the blade off of this, and I'm going to, what am I doing? Oh dear me, my poor brain. Anyhow, I got the blade off and I'm going to sharpen it, I hope. I've sharpened my chainsaw, which I dulled out yesterday. Now I've got this rig here that does chainsaw sharpening, and it's got a nice stone on it. So I figure I'll just see if I can make it work for sharpening this thing. The guy on the internet says you just take off the back of each height there, and that sharpens them up. We'll just see what happens. I'll show you after a bit. Yeah, so they're about 150 teeth, give or take. I don't know, I counted them up. I don't know if I lost count, but they all feel pretty sharp now. So that's all I did was, I'll show you. I didn't film any of it because I got going and didn't want to stop because I didn't want to lose count. So I just held it up at like on right there, and you just file off, give it a light file on the back of the tooth. I'll show you just one or two here, just how light it is. You don't need any pressure or anything. That's all there is to it. And that just takes the back of the tooth off and gives you a nice sharp edge at where it'll take the top. I guess it takes the top of this tip off. And boy, are they pointy and sharp now. They weren't before, so I guess that's a sharp blade. That's pretty good. That's easy. Well, that's, takes a little bit of preparation time because I had to take the guards off of this. So I'll put the guards back on this and then turn this back into a chainsaw thing. You use this thing here for a chainsaw. It goes this way and that way. So generally you want a 30-degree angle on chainsaw. If you're cutting, I guess if you're cutting, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Well, did it get any of that? I don't know. Hang on, I'll just check and see what I got from. Yeah, I don't know what I must have said something that turned it off, because it's got some voice commands too. Anyhow, but this thing here, you can turn it this way for 30 degrees that way if you're cutting firewood and stuff like that, or cutting trees down. But if you want to use the blade as a, whatever you call that, like a ripping blade, then you turn it to about 10 degrees. And that's good for 10 or 12 degrees is good for a ripping blade. But I just use it for cutting firewood. So, and anyhow, and then this has got this, where is it? This cover on it here, that safety cover. So I'll put that back on. And that's a good thing to do. And then that blade is sharp. And so next time I want to sharpen the blade. So you get about 2 hours or 3 hours, 2.5 hours maybe of cut time before you have to sharpen the blade. And it comes out pretty nice and sharp. The guy says that you can get quite a few sharps out of a blade. So I don't know how many. I guess I'll count them up for this one. So 150 teeth, give or take a couple, and just count them as you go around. Okay, there you go. Yeah, there we go. Another day or afternoon of cutting logs, and I think I've got it dialed in fairly close to right. This pile back here is getting kind of small now. Just have a look and see what we got going on here. Oh, there's still a few in here to cut up. My friend here is all excited because I'm here. So I'll cut these ones up. There's like, I cut this off the back end of one log because it was too long, a 10-foot log, and a couple other offcuts up here. And there's another, like a 4-foot pine log there. I should do that one up. Anyhow, but they'll get done. So, but more and more, it's getting cut up into lumber, and it's actually coming along all right. Now I have to get my building permit figured out. So here's my stack of lumber. On the back here is this back part is all 2x6s. There's a good pile of 2x6s there. And Russ was around today and helped out. Sharpening the saw worked. It just cut through that stuff like butter when the saw was sharp. And it's pretty simple to sharpen that blade. It takes about 10 or 11 minutes to sharpen the blade. Now these cherry wood boards are still in here. I'll pull them out here one of these days, and my friend Paul says to paint the end of them, put them up in the place where they'll dry off slowly, and then they'll be good in a couple of years for whatever you want to use it for. So I'll do that, but not right away. It'll happen soon. Anyhow, there you go. That's it perhaps for this video, and I'll carry on with the next one.